Well, hello, Taurus. This is Joe with Divine Daily, and I'm going to do a May 2020 general tarot reading. This is a reading about who knows what. We'll see what comes out. I'm not reading for anything specific. But before we start, a couple notes. I generally don't read reversals in this type of reading. I do read cards that jump out and fall out. And finally, how do you know if this is for you? It'll make you feel something. You'll intuitively know it. You won't have to make it fit into your circumstances. You won't have to stretch it or force it. And again, this is for the month of May 2020, sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. And with that said, let's get started. I will clarify cards that I feel that need to be clarified. And, we'll see what kind of messages we get. So Taurus, the month of May, we have Ten of Swords. To me, this signifies either one of two things, either an end to a difficult situation or a different time period in your life, or it means that you are feeling quite possibly betrayed or taken advantage of in some way, or this could represent a deep emotional wound that you've been carrying around with you. So with that said, let's see what's crossing you, and that is the moon. And to me, that is really, the moon is about so many different things, but the way the moon is crossing the Ten of Swords, it's really trying to have an understanding for the reason that you are going through what you're going through, or why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And you may be really trying to get to the bottom of this, or to really get some answers. And there might be some things that are difficult for you to really understand. Maybe you're not seeing something from somebody else's perspective, or maybe somebody was very not so nice and hid some things from you, or just did things in a dishonest way and has left you feeling very hurt. So we're going to look into this a little more and see what's... Oh, we have the World. So some of you may feel like you took a chance on something, or you felt like there was something that was meant to be, it was destiny, or it was fated, and you took a chance, and you may be doubting that. You may be doubting that because the Ten of Swords is saying that something is painful, something doesn't feel right or feel good, and so you may be questioning that. But I honestly don't think, with the World showing up, I don't think that it was something probably that was a wrong choice. This just may be part of the decision you made, or part of a path you chose, and maybe perhaps you have to go through something first to get to the good part. So let's see. We have the Five of Wands. So before you have a situation that hasn't shown that it's ending, that there may continue to be some struggle and some things that are uncomfortable, or a little bit of conflict. This is the Five of Wands, so this is a card of challenge. This could be challenged with a workplace. It could be challenged with the relationship, or other types of relationships. It could represent many different types of challenges. You have, so you have what it is that you want, and you have the Queen of Pentacles. You want that security, and that environment that brings out just peace, tranquility, joy, and just a sense of calm. And that is what you want the most, but you're not seeing that, experiencing that, or feeling that. And what is the foundation is the Priestess. So what can you do about this? This is really, the foundation is saying, this is on you to take what you have and what you know, and to turn this situation around. Perhaps you need to eliminate or cut a relationship out. Let's have a look and see. The Devil. So this is in the advice. So I did say that you may need to cut somebody out, or something out that is affecting you negatively in the situation. Now, whether somebody, I get the sense that somebody, that Taurus that you're dealing with, is a very addictive person and can bring a lot of conflict and chaos. And so you may have jumped into something with somebody and found that, or feel that it was the wrong decision. And you might be dealing with somebody that makes a lot of really poor choices, and because of that, and because you're close to them, they are bringing this conflict and chaos into your circumstances. But let's see what's the external environment. Four of Swords. So this is saying that there is peace and calm on the outside of this, but on your internal world, it feels very chaotic and just disheveled. But here, the Four of Swords is saying there are those around you, and that people that care. There are those around you, and there are circumstances around you that can aid and help you in this. And part of that might be actually getting advice from family, friends, anybody that can help you maybe see things clearly, or help you make some changes and adjustments, or just to give you strength to make some choices and decisions and to stand strong in that. So we have the Three of Swords here. And this is in what it is you are either really worried about, or what it is that you really want. And this is, of course, Three of Swords is to me is talking about an inevitable. Like there's some heartache that is inevitable, that's unavoidable, and you're probably weighing what's worse, the chaos and the conflict and the pain of a current relationship and dealing with that, or what's worse, and that's walking away and all the stuff that comes with severing ties. And the outcome, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is I believe, Taurus, you making a decision to move away from this. And I think it happens very quickly at some point in May. If you are embattled with somebody in a relationship that is just producing nothing but conflict and hard feelings and chaos, if there's somebody that is in your life that every time they do something, it has a cause and effect, and it has a negative effect on you, then this is who I'm talking about. Because this Devil card, to me, even though it's in the position of advice, is really what it's telling me is that this is saying something is toxic, and the only way that you can really get out of it is to get away from whomever it is that is causing such turmoil. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, to me, it's kind of weird that's in the recent past, because it shows that led up to this, that you may have felt like you took a chance, and this might not reflect I'm sorry, not the Wheel of Fortune, but the world. I misspoke, but you might feel that you took a chance on something, or thought you were taking a chance on something that was supposed to bring about happiness and all kinds of good things, and it turned out that it was totally the opposite. You do have the Moon crossing you with the Ten of Swords, so something wasn't very honest or truthful with you. Someone didn't show their true self, and now really all you have is yourself to rely on to dig out of this. Or that might be how you feel, but you do have some people around you that can help you, and this is definitely somebody that you want to get away from. I have a feeling that this is something that maybe right now, because of current events and current circumstances, might be making the situation even worse or very difficult to deal with. But we're going to clarify some of these, because I want to know why, like, what is the world doing here, and why does it lead to that Justice? So you might actually be married to somebody, and you are probably, some of you might be going through a divorce, or you might just be deciding now that you need to end a relationship that is so unequally yoked and unfairly and poorly balanced that a lot of everything just lies on you. and it's time to walk away from that. I feel like perhaps the world and justice coming up is saying that this is something that has been on your mind for a long time. Especially justice is not always about really legal justice, but it's about fairness and balance and truth and integrity and honesty. And I feel like that's where you're coming from. But you can't force somebody into doing what you want. And so some of you, I think this is more, could be about divorce or just separating a relationship and severing ties. And sometimes the only thing to do is to completely walk away and lose some stuff in order to gain something much better ahead down the road. But let's see what else we got for the world here. We have the Four of Wands. So there may have been a marriage or an engagement of some type, and it just didn't pan out the way that you had hoped. And unfortunately, it seems to me that there is this awareness, Taurus. If you're in a bad relationship, there is an awareness of the chaos. It's just the clarity isn't there with what's better, staying in something that's bad and walking away, or walking away into something that's really difficult, and having to be 100% self-reliant, self-dependent might be, for some of you, kind of scary right now. It might be a scary thought. But what's the Queen of Coins? We have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is very traditional. Message to me is saying to, for some of you, you might be relying more on your faith, prayer, asking God for a sign. You might be depending and leaning on that, because this could be something that is just very challenging for you, and you might be feeling very alone. So the Hierophant might represent that traditional spiritual belief that you may or may not have. I don't know. But for those of you that are relying on that, this is saying that because it's in so to speak, the advice position is saying to rely on that, to ask for help, to ask for signs, to ask for what it is you need, and you will definitely get it. You have the Seven of Wands. This is coming out on top. This is coming out ahead. Even though it represents some struggle and some conflict, it is coming out ahead. It is coming out on top. The Knight of Wands in this, or Knight of Swords in this, is coming out as your outcome. And while I did say this is about having the courage and the strength to make that decision, we did have strength come up to clarify this. So this is coming up with the Knight of Swords here. And so the Knight of Swords, you might be the type of person that has trouble having courage and the ability to stand up for yourself. And this is showing that you have the strength to move forward. You have the strength to overcome that. And I think that it's, for some of you, it could represent just finally, time has passed and this is resolving, or it has resolved. But for some of you, it could also represent just never feeling like you have the strength to stand up to people or to speak your mind. But you're going to have the strength you need. And we did talk about relying on your faith, whatever it is that you believe, to carry you through. And I do want to clarify the Devil. Let's see what that's about. We have the Page of Pentacles. So somebody may have, for some of you, come to you and informed you that this person is up to no good, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, and these are things you may not have known about, or you may have suspected, or you did know about. But this is, to me, is saying there's some confirmation in that somebody is tipping you off, and this is clarifying the Devil. So I think some of you have found that some people around you are trying to fill you in and help you fill in the pieces, and to have a better understanding about what's really going on that you haven't been aware of. And Taurus, also, we are going to look at Nine of Swords. So this has caused you a lot of sleepless nights or worry or anxiety, fear, stress, all those things. And that again is with the devil and the page of Pentacles. But let's just see where we're at finally in the month of May. Is this something you're completely away from, or is this something that is going to linger for you, Taurus? That's the big question. And you get the Magician in the outcome as well, with the Strength card and the Knight of Swords. So the Magician is, you're operating within your confines, you're operating within your ability, you're operating within your boundaries, but there is an aspect to you that is also able to overreach those boundaries and those limitations, and to pull yourself through this, to be resourceful, to pull things into your space that you need, that you whether it's a higher understanding, and also if it's resources that you need, if it's support that you need, you have what you need within your own perceived boundaries. But this is saying to try and operate outside of that, to try and reach beyond the boundaries, because everything you need is well at your disposal to move past the difficulty here with this relationship. And this doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic relationship. This could be any other type of toxic relationship. But I think for some of you, or a majority of you who are resonating with this, are finding that this is a romantic relationship, a marriage, an engagement, or just a long-standing relationship. Some of you, might have been a short-term thing that you are putting an end to. And finally, we have the Two of Cups in the outcome. This can often signify love, relationships coming together, unions of many types, work, business, romantic. I think for you, this is a coming together with yourself again. This is your this is really meeting yourself again. To me, this isn't about moving out of this and finding love, or finding anything that is external to you. To me, this is you finally being okay with yourself, and being able to look in the mirror and see yourself and feel like you are finally okay, that you've moved yourself out of this chaos and this conflict, and you're finally feeling okay. And I think that's what really the message is in the month of May, is to move through this as quickly as you can. Don't drag it out. Put an end to what needs to have an end, and you'll find yourself appreciating yourself again, having more respect for yourself. And so I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. You have on the bottom of the deck the Seven of Cups, which is, to me, walking away from what doesn't serve you, what hasn't been helping you, what's been delaying you from moving through this. That, to me, is really what the Seven of Cups is saying, is to walk away from all that chaos, that drama, the empty promises, the things that never were, that were promised, the things that were disguised and turned out to be like a snake in the boot, or a scorpion, or something that really wasn't what it was supposed to be. And also on the bottom of this deck here, you have the Eight of Coins, which is working toward new things. Your mind is finally clear. Your time is probably a little bit more cleared up, and you're able to just get in touch with yourself and other things, other people around you that are more profitable in relationships, in money, and work, in all areas of your life. And so I think that's really what this is about, Taurus. So for those of you that this makes sense, please do like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I really appreciate it. This, Taurus, is again May 2020, just a general reading for you. I hope everybody stays safe, healthy, and happy, and take care of yourself. Thank you.